Hey, what is up? My name is Fire. Now in this video I have for you guys some Call of Duty World at War. I went back and I was playing this game of bits. This is a game I never actually got to play during its prime. I wasn't playing Call of Duty back then, and going back to play the game now, it was quite a bit of fun. Now, I wasn't doing so well, so keep in mind the gameplay is absolute shit at most parts, but I was running around with the PPSH for the most part. I was playing on PC. The PC community is still very alive for this game. It's ridiculous how many people continue to play this game on PC, which is a very good sign for a game like this. So I was actually trying to get a controller set up, and I actually ended up getting my Xbox One controller set up and being able to play with it, which really helped me actually just move around the game. And even though the sensitivity was quite off, the sensitivity was kind of high, and I found it quite hard to aim at different times, which made the experience a lot more harder. But regardless of that, I still have fun with the game. The game just feels very nice, and this reminds me of why I fell in love with Call of Duty. This brings back some good old memories of playing the older Call of Duties. This is what an older Call of Duty game felt like. It felt arcadey. It really did. The newer Call of Duty games still feel arcadey, but they don't have the feeling that the older ones have, and I suppose that's a good thing at the same time because they have progressed into a bit more of a realistic standpoint. But I miss these older feeling CODs. I really miss these old style CODs. And it just felt good to go, back and play the game itself. So yeah, in this video I kind of want to compare the PPSH in this game compared to the Call of Duty World War II PPSH. Of course, both of these PPSHs are very different. One in the way they look, and two in the way they perform, sound, and feel. Now, the Call of Duty World War PPSH is fucking awesome. I love this PPSH so much. It just has such a nice feel to it with that high fire rate that the other PPSH doesn't have. It doesn't achieve that really high fire rate and melty factor that the World War PPSH achieves. If anything, the World War II PPSH should really be the WAF. That's what the weapons should be swapped around as. The WAF should be the PPSH stats, and the WAF or the PPSH should be the WAF stats. And I've said this in previous videos, and I've heard other people say this as well and agree on this. The PPSH's fire rate is way too slow. The PPSH is a very high fire rate weapon, and it's supposed to be that weapon that will just absolutely melt people at close range, but it does also have a good bit of recoil and can be harder to control. The PPSH in World War II does not have that. It has more of a moderate fire rate, moderate damage, but it does also have a decent amount of recoil, which is somewhat for balancing reasons. But overall, I don't like the way the PPSH performs in World War II. Mainly also, another reason is its iron sights. I don't like the iron sights. I don't like that sort of like flatline iron sights. I really like the big circle over the iron sights like it has in World at War, and as well like Black Ops 3. Any other games that you've seen, all the PPSHs in Call of Duty always have that little circular iron sight, or the circular ring over the iron sight, which we don't have here in Call of Duty World at War, or Call of Duty World War II. I always get the names mixed up, which does really suck. And honestly, I think that's a big downside to this weapon. It might be small, but it makes it feel more like the PPSH with that circle, in my opinion. Overall, by the time the full game releases, I really want to see some buffs to the fire rate, and also even maybe a change in the iron sights. Now, I'm not too sure if this will happen, but I'm begging you, Treyarch, or begging you, Sledgehammer, I'm calling them Treyarch now, please at least up the fire rate to make this weapon feel a lot more like it did in World War II, or World of War. Jesus Christ, I'm getting these names mixed up. But yeah, I hope they buff the fire rate. And another thing is the sound effects. The sound effects in World at War are so good. So they sound so crisp, and it sounds like a real life PPSH. The sound effects in World War II, they sound satisfying. I'm gonna say that they really do sound satisfying, and that's a good thing. But they don't sound realistic. They don't sound like that really sound of death that you hear in World at War. That's the best way I can describe it. Whenever you hear that just absolute sure power coming out of it, it sounds so powerful in World at War, and it sounds like death, so it does. In World War II though, the PPSH doesn't have that feeling, it doesn't have that sound to it, which really does suck. And I think these are some things they really need to change on before the full release of this game comes out. Hopefully they do, we don't know. At least buff the fire rate. I think if they're going to do anything, change anything, buff the fire rate, even mess around with some of the sound effects, because a lot of people are complaining about the sound effects in this game. They're satisfying and I do like them, but they're not really realistic, which I guess is what people are looking for. Anyway guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to smack that button down below and subscribe to some Call of Duty content. And yeah, I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.